And then I'm using simple brush tool with a lower flow value to start painting some shadows. And then I found this cool picture of an elephant skin and I thought it's gonna be great. I add those details, then I create a new solid color layer and I add this glowing kind of effect. Hi, I'm Mike Lewis. In today's video I'm gonna show you how you can Photoshop yourself or any other person into Ahsoka from Star Wars series. Okay, so without further talking, let's go straight to the Photoshop and do some magic. So I'm gonna go with this picture. I'm just cropping it a bit and then I'm just extracting the selection using just simple select and mask tool. And then I'm fixing a bit selection, just to make sure that the size are perfect. So just a simple pen tool and then I'm brushing the edges. Then I'm adding a new hue saturation layer with a low lightness value and low saturation. So I'm creating a draft to see where the arms and the clothing are gonna be. So you can see that the arms are gonna be on the sides and the clothes are gonna be at the center. So the black color is showing where the clothes are gonna be. So right now we need to find a good arm. So I'm gonna go with this photo. And I'm just using pen tool to extract the arm. And then I'm just using the clipping mask to make sure that it fits our selection. And then simple pen tool to correct the mask a bit. And right now we need to create those clothes. So I just found this picture of a lady with a suit and I'm gonna use this suit. I fixed a few places using content aware tool. I don't want this white shirt to be visible. So I'm just masking it. I'm fixing a few places. And I'm just using again content aware tool to expand the material of his suit a bit. I also duplicated to create those new creases. Now I'm gonna create those leather crown. I'm using a simple pen tool to create a draft first. I'm filling it with brown color. And I'm also creating a draft for tentacles, also using pen tool. And filling it with white color. I'm fixing the shape of the crown a bit. Okay, something like this. And I found this leather texture and I'm gonna place it on our crown. I'm adding a new layer and play with a simple light. I'm adding some more details to this crown. And I'm also using a bevel effect to add this edge of light. I'm adding some more details. And then I'm using simple brush tool with a lower flow value to start painting some shadows on those tentacles to create a bit more depth. To make the tentacles a bit more 3D. Some more shadows under the crown. I'm adding a lot of shadows on the sides of the head, you can see. And then I found this cool picture of an elephant skin and I thought it's gonna be great to use on our tentacles. So I'm just importing it and desaturating it a bit and also making it a bit more brighter. I'm playing with the shape using puppet pin tool and also transform tool a bit. I want to add some variations of the colors. On the texture, I'm creating a new hue saturation layer with a light yellow color and I'm just brushing it on a few places. Then I'm creating a new hue saturation layer and I'm painting some more shadows. I'm creating the levels to add some contrast, and I'm also creating this blue hue saturation layer to add those details on those tentacles, those lines, those blue lines. I'm changing the blending mode of it to soft light. And then I found this cool picture of a watercolor brush, and I found it's gonna be great to add a bit more details to those lines. So I'm just placing it on the sides and changing the blending mode and also the color of it. And also I'm using transform tool to match with our shape of tentacles. I move back to crown and I'm creating those metal diamonds or metal stones. I'm not sure what exactly this is. Probably metal stones. So, a simple color, then I'm adding some shadows and a few edges of light. And then I'm adding metallic texture. And I duplicate it to the left side and I just cut the top part of it. And I change the size a bit with transform tool. And I also change the angle of a shadow and I duplicate it to the right side. I'm adding some edges of light. And some more shadows. I changed the shape of the crown a bit using puppet pin tool. And then I'm adding some shadows beneath the tentacles to add this effect that the tentacles are touching our clothes. I blur the shadow a bit. And now I'm deleting the eyebrows. And I start to paint those white details on the skin that Ahsoka has. You can see that I'm creating those details with a simple pen tool. And then with a hue saturation layer, I add those details to the skin. Then I move back to clothes and I'm adding one more crease and some more shadows to make sure that it looks a bit more real. More shadows on the skin, on the arms. I'm creating a new hue saturation layer and I'm adding this orangish color to the skin. Just make sure that the eyes and the mouth are not affected by this layer. And then I'm adding a background and I also use a field blur to blur it a bit. And then I change the background. I'm just looking for a cool climax. From this background I delete the camel, which doesn't suit this image. I'm creating a new hue saturation layer with a yellow light color to add some edges of light. You can see that with a simple brush, I'm brushing those edges on the sides. And I'm adding some more shadows, also with a hue saturation layer. And some more edges of the light. And I add a bit more contrast. And then I decided that I'm gonna go with the first background. I think it has the best climax, and it suits our character really well. And some more contrast with curves, adjustment layer, and some more edges of the light. And the new hue saturation layer with an orangish color to match it a bit more with our scenario. And some sparks that I'm gonna use later. And now we go to our favorite tool, which is Camera Raw tool, and we tweak some values. And like I said before, there are no magic values, just trust your eyes and see what works best for your artwork. And I also spent some time in Color Mixer, tweaking some values, and also in color grading, to add this warm feel to our image. Then I create a new solid color layer and I add this glowing kind of effect on the right side. And then I go and add our second favorite effect, glowing edges, to add a bit more details. And I put it on the screen blending mode, and I'm just using a simple brush tool to brush it in the places where I want to see. And I'm adding some blur with a field blur tool, just make sure that the center is not affected by this blur. And then I'm adding some chromatic aberration effect and a vignette. And for the final effect, I also add those sparks that I mentioned before. And that's it for today's video. Let me know what you think about it. I hope you liked it. I hope you learned something from it. Please give a like, comment and subscribe to see more of this kind of videos. Tell me what would you like to see next, and to the next time. Bye.